unique selling proposition or USP is something that sets you apart from the crowd and makes it easier for your clients to choose you over your competition. So in today's episode, I'm in conversation with Jasneet Kaur, a health coach from India, to talk about how a clear USP helps her build her business.
Fall in love with selling as you acquire the right mindset, selling style, and sales process that helps you take your business solution to more prospects, potential clients, and the world at large. If you are a women entrepreneur who is looking to get more sales, scale, and sustainability in your business, you have reached the right place. I'm Roshni Baronia, your host for the show Ace the Sales, which is all about helping you bring your authentic and influential self to each sales conversation.
Hey Jasneet, welcome to the show. So happy to have you here.
Hi Roshni, thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me here.
So Jasneet, please tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Okay, about myself first or about my business first?
Both, of course, yourself first.
Okay, so I'm Jasneet Kaur. I'm a nutrition, habits and fat loss coach, and I'm based out of Dehradun, Uttarakhand, and I work with women all over the world, help them get healthier, lose weight by developing healthier mindset and habits. And this is not what I've been always doing. I was at the corporate world in New Delhi and worked there for good 13, 14 years. And then some folks in the road came and here I am sitting with you. And I'm a mom of 2 kids, 4 and 9. And my husband's a meditation and mindfulness coach. So that's what it is.
Wow, that's like a perfect combination. Mindfulness coach and a health coach who talks about mindset.
You can say that. Though, yes, he was a sales and marketing professional in his previous life. We call it previous life, but it was just 3 years back.
Absolutely,
and
yes.
I was an operations and product management professional. But yeah, we've chosen very different lines, which we are very, very passionate about.
True. But I think they are very complementary skills for you both to have earlier on in your previous lives as well, because sales and marketing and operations complementary to each other. And now
I agree.
Mindfulness and health, nutrition, wellness and everything. Wow, awesome.
That's a great perspective. Yes. Though I refuse to work with him in any other capacity as a wife. Apart from a wife, we can manage one role very well, which is that of husband and wife. When we get too many roles there, then wo khichdi pak jati hai. So well, let it be a complementary skill set.
True. It's good to define boundaries everywhere.
Yes.
Awesome. So Jasneet, I was going through your website and of course your work, and one particular thing which stood out in your messaging and what you are doing in your work is that before even advising what to eat and what to avoid, you explore the deeper aspects of your client's relationship with food, such as why do we choose to eat what we eat and how we eat the food what we do. So, and that is a very unique approach. That is something which I've came across for the first time. So the entire conversation of mindset with health and nutrition. So how did that come about for you and how did you discover that?
Sure. So Roshni, I think it's a sum total of my own experiences in my own health journey, combined with the education I undertook to become a health coach. And then, of course, working with different clients and helping them. So it's a sum total of all of those, right? But I would say the seed of, I was a very busy, ambitious, kind of exhausted corporate professional in my previous life. And I had, Ravi, who's my elder daughter. She was just 2 or 3. And I was like going through all of those, the struggles of a typical busy mom who has to go to work, do a long commute, and then, also take out time for exercise, and which I used to hate, and, eat healthy and all of those typical struggles. So I've been through that journey myself of trying to lose the pregnancy weight, trying to get healthy. And then, the second baby comes and then you again put on weight, and then again you're wondering now you're too old to even lose what you gained. So it's a sum total of all of the things that I went through. And finally, the seed was, I think, sown when I was undergoing my yoga teacher training back in 2015 and 16 beginning. And that's where, I first experienced mindful eating and, how it changed the whole satisfaction from food and how the experience around food. And then it got strengthened when I undertook my nutrition coach certification with Precision Nutrition. And I was was again exposed to, how mindful eating and simply being attentive to how we're eating and why we're eating is a really big game changer. And that is at the core of all your relationship with food. And unless we learn to look at it and explore it deeper, then whatever we do in terms of a diet plan or exercise, those are kind of just like band-aids that we apply. So this is more of the core work that needs to happen. And then I applied all of this to myself and, applied intuitive eating, mindful eating, attentiveness, having a more attitude of more self-kindness, more compassion towards myself, choosing movement that I enjoy instead of looking at exercise as a chore. So as I did all of that, I experienced how my own fitness became effortless, became easy. And that's when I then, combined my own experience with education to start working with clients. And then with each client, it was a learning journey. And now I can say that, yes, in general, I have a good sense of what will work for a particular person.
Right. That's a great perspective because, we most of the times we do not know why we eat something, because just to give an example, like from the society that we come, we very proudly say, oh, we have a sweet tooth. We all of us have sweet tooth. We are banyas. We have to eat sweets after food. And that is something which we have accepted all throughout our lives, and we don't really think about it as to why we are eating it. We are having that craving to eat sugar. Why is it? And is there a way to even change that? So
yes.
So how does that look exactly with your work? Like when you work with your clients, can you give any examples? Or
Sure. So let's build on the example that you shared, Roshni. Mm-hmm. So I was saying, let's explore what you gave as an example, right? कि हम बनिया family से हैं, and मीठा तो मतलब पूरा time घर में होता है, and सब खाते हैं खाने के बाद, right? So what I hear you say is that this is a part of the value system that you grew up with, and over a period of repeating it again and again and again, it's become a part of who you think you are as a person, right? Mm-hmm. So because we come from a certain kind of family, we naturally, all of us, love sweet, right? And that's okay. So the first aspect of working with someone is really exploring why. Okay, why do you, for example, if it's about craving for sweet, okay, so first examining that, is that craving even there? Like establishing, is it a craving? Is it more just an automatic habit? Maybe you don't even crave for sugar, but you're just used to reaching for a mithai after a meal, right? So just pausing and and just observing, okay, is this hunger? Is this a craving? Is this just a regular habit, right? And then breaking it down, saying, okay, so assuming this is a craving and assuming it's grown from your identity of the kind of family that you've come in from. And all of us, like, I'm a Punjabi, we have our own, hum to ghee, shakkar, paranthe, sab kuch, khate hain, and main abhi bhi khati hu. But it's important to simply just, instead of having that as a script going in the back of our heads, like just take it out and look at it and examine it and say, okay, is this really what I enjoy? Are these the foods that I enjoy? Do they make me feel my best? And if so, then how can I eat them with more acceptance and more enjoyment, right? So for example, one of the things that I really help, really work deeply with is that, please, getting healthy doesn't mean giving up sweets, doesn't mean giving up mithai. Aap khao, but don't eat it chalte phirte, ek laddu utha liya, barfi utha li, kuch utha liya, gujia utha liya. Chalte phirte ye jo hoti na unconscious eating, wo mat karo. Take a piece of sweet and sit down with it and, tell yourself that you're going to spend the next 2-3 minutes eating that sweet and really absorb each molecule of sweetness and derive the complete satisfaction from it. And then you will realize that, number one, because you made the action now deliberate rather than automatic, number one, you will suddenly be aware that, okay, maybe I don't even need this right now, and even if you do need it, you'll probably feel far more satisfied with a much lesser quantity because you're paying attention.
Right. That's quite deep. And the way you are bringing it across, that yes, you go to the exact root analysis and the cause of why you are having that craving or a habit developed to go ahead and eat that sweet or fried food or whatever it is. Right. So coming back to like how it has helped you formulate your business around it, your messaging, your like how you talk to your clients. So whenever you are talking to people, be it on sales calls or you are just onboarding or reaching out to new people, how does this work, this in-depth work of getting to the root of why you need to be aware about how your eating habits are? How does that reflect in your messaging?
Okay. So I see this as a 2-step process or maybe 3-step process. And I'm thinking as I go, because, when I think my number one change in mindset that I've developed myself and I don't even identify myself as an entrepreneur. I look at myself as a coach. So, right. People say coaching entrepreneur, but okay, yeah, fine. Yes, I am an entrepreneur. Really, at the deeper self, I recognize myself as a coach. And I know that part of what I do is that I don't have an organization behind me that's going to go out there and spread my message, and my job is only to do the coaching. Aisa nahi hai, right? So I have to go and spread my message. I have to go and tell people, and then I have to attract them enough and help them feel more comfortable to reach out to me, and then, of course, sign them on and, work with them. So I think the first part of that is really consistently showing up as myself, consistently showing up as someone who is, and as my authentic self with no layering of I'm an expert. So I keep reminding myself not to fall into the expert trap. I think people anyways are so tired of getting their health right, and they are so tired of being given different advices that it takes a huge leap of faith for them to trust another person with their health. Yeah. And I've been there in their shoes. So I know what's going on in their head. It's not like, hey, please help me. That's a big leap of faith, right?
Right.
People are tired of being judged as to why they put on weight. They are tired of being judged as to why they can't be more disciplined. The whole fitness industry also has a role to play in making people feel bad about not being disciplined enough or not wanting their health badly enough. And I do not subscribe to this kind of a messaging, right? So my job as a coach, because I can't, it's not like, जब मैं sales कर रही हूँ तो मैं sales कर रही हूँ उसके बाद मैं coaching करूँगी. नहीं, जब मेरी sales भी एक तरह की coaching है. If I can't wear the coach hat while selling, then people are not going to trust me, right? And if they don't trust me, they're not going to come and work with me, right? So my goal as in my messaging is to make people feel comfortable that wherever they are, that is 100% okay and normal to be. And being unhealthy is not illegal, right? Why do we make, it's totally legal to be unhealthy or to be overweight, and it's not a crime, and they're doing the best they can, and they have like hundreds of responsibilities with kids and career and, aging parents and, running a household and so many responsibilities, right? So it's okay. Health can take a backseat sometimes, right? Especially because I work with women in their 30s and 40s, and it's a crazy decade for us, right?
Absolutely.
In our lifetime. So it's okay if you're not healthy. Number one, it's okay. And number two, it doesn't have to be this whole like self-sacrificial, white knuckle discipline kind of an approach. You can start where you are. You can take one step at a time, and over a period of time, if you look at habits, just habit development, not diet plan and not shortcuts and not band-aids, then there is no reason why you wouldn't be successful if you simply increase the timeline, right? Increase the timeline, take it slow. So that is what I really go out and give as a messaging. In terms of when someone reaches out to me, okay, I like what you say, it makes sense. How can we work together? Then it's more about, again, wearing the coach hat and finding out if I can, help them as human beings. Because over a period of time, I've now come to a stage where I can screen for people and see if they will be the best fit as clients for me and if I will be the best fit as a coach for them. So then it's more of an interviewing process, understanding what their mindset is, what they're looking for, what their strengths are, how they look on at life, and then, mutually understanding if we'll be a good fit for each other. Because coaching is a laborious work, not just in terms of hours spent, but really emotions. It is emotionally laborious. It is costly work. And, I work with people for at least 6 to 12 months. So it's not like, come join in, because they become a part of my life and I'm a part of their life.
Yes.
So we have to get along.
True, because there's no instant gratification kind of a thing in the coaching world. It is a process over time.
It's a process. And my whole approach is habits, right? And it's decades of habits that people come with, and we're not going to break them or create new ones in a couple of months or in 16 weeks. It takes time.
Yeah.
Do you often face feast and famine cycles in your business? Do you set lofty income goals but don't know how to achieve them? Then this is the time for you to wear the CEO hat and take charge of your sales with the Personal Sales Planner. This sales planner is an all-in-one tool for solopreneurs like yourself to help you manage and grow your sales every single quarter. From mindset and motivation to strategy and implementation, tracking and monitoring to review and reflection. Everything that you need to crush your sales targets and meet your income goals is within this 90-day planner. So grab one for yourself from the link given in show notes at bit.ly/PSP-37. This is the best way for you to bring in predictable revenue growth in your business. So grab your planner from bit.ly/PSP-37. The link is given in show notes.
Yeah, true. And talking about this process and this transformation, I believe that transformation and transition was equally very much applicable for you also, because you transitioned from a corporate life to entrepreneurial world or the coaching world. So from being at the other side of the table, now you had to go and sell your services or put yourself out there into the world and ask for sales, ask for money.
Yes.
How was that? How was those initial challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question, Roshni, because, sometimes you forget how it was initially, like how tough it was initially. And it was tough, right? I mean, I'm being very honest here that today I'm sitting here as a self-assured coach and with a full practice, but it wasn't always like this, right? It was tough. It was quite tough. But now that I look back at it, I used to think that, okay, it's difficult for people to invest in a coach because, किसी को weight lose करना है, they will be like, वहाँ तो 10 किलो 5 हफ्ते में हो जाता है, that
kind comparison. Costing comparison.
You have all those billboards ना कि 20,000 में किलो घटाएं, so they compare, and then they come and ask me कि मेरा कितना हो जाएगा, and then I'm like, okay, I don't have a number, it depends on so many things, so I'm not giving you any guarantees. And they're like, oh, okay. So initially I used to think that it was more of investment in a coach, and because this is a new concept, mindset and habits. But now that I look back, I don't think the way I coach has changed so much, but really it was more about being self-assured in my ability as a coach. It was more of an imposter that who am I to tell them how to get healthy? I am not even a BSc dietetics. I'm not even a qualified dietitian. I'm a coach, right? And even though I have like a full license to work as a nutrition coach, because I'm not prescribing diet plans, I'm not even prescribing any supplements and really helping them build good habits. But again, it was more about how I felt about myself, right? Rather than anything else. And the second thing was about the whole thing of asking for money, right? Asking for the sale. And I think that switched in my head now as if this is something that's worked for me and it's changed my life, right? If the approach that I teach is something that's worked for me and it's changed my life and it's changed the lives of, about 50 to 60 people in the last 2 years, then who am I to say that this is something that I should not be screaming from the rooftops about, right? If I won't bat for this, who will? Right? I mean, there is nobody behind me, like an organization going out and doing the marketing or the sales. It's all me. And if this is something that works, then denying people the knowledge that there is an alternative, which is simpler, which works, then denial of that communication is probably a bigger, miss. So it is my duty as a professional as a coach to go and spread the message. And it's my service. Selling is my service, right? And once I switched this in my head, then I stopped looking at this as sales. I just started looking at this as onboarding new clients, like, engaging more people. The terminology changed, right? Serving more people. So, and as that terminology changed, I stopped looking at sales conversations as sales conversations. They are coaching conversations. They are onboarding coaching conversations. And both prospective client and I are having a conversation. Okay, are we right for each other? So yeah, I think initially it was more about to sell up, this is my package and how many people will buy. But I think as you start understanding what you do and you try wear the coaching hat, even in your sales avatar, then it becomes easier.
Awesome. So I think that is your mantra as a seasoned entrepreneur now, that wear your coaching hat even in your sales conversations, because then the intention 100%. Is only to help the other person and serve them.
Wow. Yeah. And Rush, that's a brilliant point you brought about, because when you change the intention from this client will convert and work with me, and you change the intention to in the next half an hour, I will help this person to the best of my abilities. Whether this person at the end of the half an hour, she signs up with me or not is something outside my control, and I'm not directly control it or I'm not going to worry about, right? But my intention right now is to understand this person, see if I can help her, and really hopefully that she will take something useful away from this conversation. And once I changed that from conversion, the agenda from conversion to helpfulness, everything about that conversation changes. Everything. Because I am in listening mode. I switch to listening mode. It's not about, I do this and I offer check-ins and I offer accountability and I offer you a software and I offer you, these lessons and I offer you videos. Nahi, wo baatein hai hi nahi. Question is, where are you? Who are you? Where are you struggling? What have you tried? How can I help you best? Why do you think you're ready now? What do you think are your limiting factors? So I'm listening. and then turns out most people haven't been listened to, honestly. They haven't had a conversation where someone has listened to them just like a human being with no agenda. So once I throw my agenda out of the picture, I feel it becomes illogical, but sales becomes easy and more conversion happens, in fact.
Right. No, I don't think it's illogical. It is very much on point, because in the new era of, if I say the modern selling, or when you are actually very in a technical aspect, learning selling or talking about selling, these are actually the conversations we've switched to. So from aggressive talking to active listening. So, and just trying to have at the back of the mind that, whether this person will convert or not, just being there, being present to what their needs are, and just exploring whether we are a right fit or not. Because there are 101 100%. Other opportunities more waiting for you out there. So even if this doesn't materialize, there is a next opportunity right at the next door. So don't be too entangled with this concept of I have to convert this very conversation, this very prospect of the client. And that's too much of a pressure on us also, like as a salesperson, as a business owner who is having this conversation. It's too much pressure.
Exactly. So I think the in everything in life, there's usually a simpler way to do things, right? I mean, in your health journey, there's a simpler way. In your sales journey, there's a simpler way. It's okay. If we can be curious, you can find a simpler way. If you're doing something every day and you're not feeling good about it, then time for you to get curious and figure out if there's a better way, which, corresponds with your values as a human being.
Right. Wow. That's a great note on which to bring an end to this conversation. And before we go away, anything special you want to share with the listeners, and any closing message you want to share?
Okay, sure. I would say, if there is even one person who can listen to this podcast and feel a little encouraged about their health journey, as well as either about their health journey or about their business journey, or both, right? I think any journey of change, involves discomfort, right? And what I have understood over the last few years is that it's important to accept that discomfort and yet make the change simpler for ourselves. So if we practice more of imperfect action, just putting ourselves out there imperfectly, right? Not waiting for the perfect script, the perfect client, the perfect workout, the perfect diet plan. Do what you can with what you have based on where you are today, and just take one step and stay consistent with that one step for a few weeks, and then add another step, like, that 1% change, and be more kind towards ourselves, like be more compassionate. You're a human being amongst 7 billion in the world, right? And there's like the whole humanity is along with you, right? And there is not a single human being who doesn't have any suffering, right? Suffering is a big word, but even little things like losing weight, starting a business, these are small sufferings, right? So everyone is suffering, and you're one amongst the 7 billion. So don't think you're very special, or don't you think that the whole world is against you. Aisa nahi hai, we can be kind to ourselves. Take imperfect action, then look at sustainable change. Look at the long horizon. Don't expect things to be different within 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. Play the long game. So that would be my message.
Yeah. Be okay with accepting the fact that it's all a process and it takes time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Great conversation, Jasneet. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashmi, and thank you for having me here. It was nice to answer your lovely questions.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this episode. I'm sure you were able to find some key learnings and takeaways from today's episode, which will help you grow your business to the next level. And if that's the case, make sure that you share this episode with 2 of your business buddies, because you never know that they might also find some insight which will help them in their business. Knowledge, after all, grows by sharing it further, right? So do share it with 2 of your business buddies. Also, if you like Ace the Sales podcast, consider sharing 5-star review and rating on Apple iTunes, because that will help us take the podcast to many more women just like yourself who are looking to find sales success in their business. Also, it will mean the world to us, especially myself and my team, who are putting loads of efforts to bring this podcast to you. And lastly, remember to connect with me on Instagram at Roshni_Baronia, because I would love to know more about you, your business, and what is it that you need help help with when it comes to selling. So connect with me on Instagram, leave a review, and share the podcast with 2 of your business buddies. I will meet you next Thursday. Stay tuned and stay safe and happy selling.